Hey, this is Drake here, and I was just wanting to do a video of Elden Ring and a few things that really helped me out early game. Now, I didn't discover any of these. They were all in other videos, and I'm just going to try to put them together in one. Alright, you're going to start off at the first step. First thing to do, which most people probably know, there's going to be a boss here. Ignore him if you don't want to mess with him. He's a tree sentinel. But make your way over here to this site of grace. Now you will have to find and rest at 3 or 4 sites of grace before you have your horse, which is essential to what we're going to do here. Rest at this, come to him, buy a crafting kit so you can make items, and this will give you your first smithing stone and the ability to use a table before you make it to the round table hold. Alright, from here we're going to make our way to Caelid by way of a portal located at the Third Church of America. And what that's going to allow us to do is find the incantation that's really helpful, which is Rotten Breath, and find a farming spot that I really liked at the beginning of the game that I haven't seen mentioned but once or twice in other videos. So I'm not going to fast forward or anything. We're just going to play it like it is. This is the quickest route to get there. Now once you have the horse, you don't have to battle anything to get here. No bosses. Not even any enemies if you don't want, just run right past them. And it will take a few minutes to get here. Not bad. Here you can avoid the whole fort. Now there is a site of grace at the gate front over there you can grab. And there's a site of grace right there you can get along the way. Just in case you happen to die on the way, you gotta restart all the way from the beginning. Now you can build your character basically any way you want, but I found this one incantation, which is Scarlet Rot, really helps in the early game. Now if it's nighttime, there will be a night cavalry here, which you can run past him. It's an optional boss. Take a left here, and you can see the waypoint over there. We're getting there. It's a little bit of a journey. Try to keep this as short a video as possible, but there's a few things that really help. Now if you're new to the game, that icon on the left, it looks like a tombstone, means you can use your ashes of war to help you. Or not ashes of war, but your summoning ashes, which are really helpful. Alright, there's a giant. This is the Third Church of America. There's a giant here, but really you ain't got to bother with him. And I'll go to the left of the church. There's a site of grace inside that you could grab. And a sacred tear. I would highly recommend gathering. Yeah, he might do that. Anyway, I'd highly recommend grabbing all golden seed and all sacred tears before you go to a different area. There's a portal right here. Interact, travel, and this will take you to the Bestial Sanctum in Caelid, which will be the location of our farming spot that I'm going to show. Alright, it starts you out here. Now there will be a gargoyle boss here that you don't have to fight. And the beast clergyman will be inside, but he doesn't engage you either. Site of grace here. Now I found it's best on this farming run, pastime till nightfall, and I won't do the whole run because it takes It takes a minute to do it. But at the beginning of the game, these little guys out here, they give you a little over 1,000 runes apiece, which compared to the other enemies at the in Limgrave, they give you 10 apiece. Not bad. It's these little guys here you're going to be farming. Now at night time, you see, he didn't even see me. They're basically blind. Walk up to them, backstab. And there you go. Now I'm on journey 3, so it gave me 3,400. Now this part, of course, the boss is usually there. You don't want to engage him. Travel across. And I'll just ride by them on the horse and show the position of them. Now at early levels, one backstab will not kill them, but after the backstab, a hit or two will kill them. And keep in mind, they do a lot of damage in early levels. There's one here you can take out. See how blind they are at night? And there'll be another one here. This is the best order I've found. There's another one here. And then there's golden seed here. Right on down here, and there'll be, oops, sorry, wrong way. Up here, there'll be 3 in this area. Kind of close together, but not too close. Got one there, and there'll be 2 right here. One there, and one there. Now they can use the Beast Claw incantation, so it does a lot of damage early level. There's one there. There's 2 up here, and now I'm not keeping count. But in early game, I think one run will give you about 35,000 to 40,000. Another one here. Another one here. And then cut across, and there's one right up there. And there's usually one, yeah, right there he is, right here. Now keep in mind, they'll give you, I think, 1,049 apiece for each one of them. There's one there. One here. One here. One here. And their moveset is pretty predictable once you get them figured out. And that's basically it for this area. After this, right back down. Now if you wanted to, before you did the run, there's a site of grace beside the bridge you could grab, just in case you accidentally die somewhere along the way, which probably will happen a lot at early levels. But it's okay, it's pretty easy to get back. There's another one here. There will be one here, one there, roundabout they make patrols, and one there. That's a little longer of a farming run. It ain't like the ball that you roll off the edge and get 2,500 each time you do it over on the other side of Caleb. But I kind of like this one better, because with early levels you can do this run one time and get 30 to 35 upgrades for one run. There's one here. There's one close to this rock usually. Now there's a group here. There's 4 there and one over there on the route that goes behind it. I'd recommend luring them out, taking them one at a time. They won't go too far back, so you can just lure them out and take them one at a time. Now you can go down and there's more, but it's a bit of a trap. In early levels it's very hard to manage. I'll show you. And there's poison pods down here that do damage. See these? And then these little guys will come jumping out everywhere. There's probably about 10 down through here, which makes the farming run better, but it can get you killed really easy at early levels. And there will be a Knight's Cavalry here. In the early levels, he's very tough. We'll just leave him alone. Now if you keep going past, There's a site of grace here. That's yeah, see, he'll just go back. He won't really come over here. Now, if you've watched other farming videos, down the hill there is where the ball comes out of thin air and tries to kill you, and if you leave it off a cliff, it gives you 2,500. So if you wanted to do that, I mean, perfectly fine. Personally, I just like fighting something to get runes a little better than exploiting glitches. Alright, take this. Well, if you can make it work, take this up. And this will lead us to our second thing that you need to do early. And honestly, you could do this before you even did the farming run one time, and it'll give you several upgrades. I believe it gives you 100,000 runes first, or maybe it's 50,000, 50 or 100 the first time you do it, which early game, that's massive. There will be lightning strikes. Down here there's a Erd tree sentinel, which don't mess with him because he's pretty bad. He does scarlet rot, so it's kind of rough. But if you go behind the tree, there's another whirlwind here. Up it. There's a site of grace here. This is, show it on the map, this is Fort Farroth, excuse me. And this will be your other thing that really good really early. Of course, I've already killed him this playthrough. Laying right here, there will be a giant white dragon, and as long as you stay behind it, he's got 3 or 4 guardian dragons in front of him. As long as you stay behind him, they won't engage. Use a bleed weapon, it'll take a while. Chop him down until he dies. And what that'll do is give you 50,000 runes, I believe, and 5 dragon hearts. Now the dragon hearts are essential to get the incantation. I'm sorry, that is really good early game, and that is, you can see there, it's the rotten breath, and this is it. Now that does quite a bit of initial damage. Plus, if you do it, it usually takes 2 times on an enemy, but once you get scarlet rot on them, it does continuous damage. Except for a few. If they're made out of stone like gargoyles, it doesn't work. The initial damage hits, but the rot doesn't work. Or if there's like the Erd trees, they don't take scarlet rot. And the final boss, the Elden Beast, it won't take scarlet rot. But everything else is pretty much fair game. Now, let's see. Let's go to memorize spells. Now this is the rotten breath, and it takes 15 faith and 12 arcane, so it's not a very high requirement right off the bat. And you will need, of course most of them start you off with it, you'll have to have a finger seal to cast it, and usually it starts you off with this finger seal, which is good at lower levels. Upgrade it as quickly as possible, and it really helps with the initial damage. This one you find later on, and you can see the scaling at 392 as opposed to 237, and this one scales with arcane, and it boosts dragon communion incantation. So once you get this, it really makes it good in later levels in the game. But for now, do that. You've got your dragon hearts. Alright, what you'll have to do from here is you need to come all the way down here to the Church of the Dragon Communion. And the easiest way I've found, if you haven't been there yet, travel this path here, come around and make it to the smoldering church here, which there will be an invader there, and you don't have to fight them if you don't want. I suppose run through, grab the side of grace, keep on trucking. Alright, from here, after the invader is gone, you can use your horse again. This is just a different route into Kaylin. You can go from Fort Farroth over there, but it's a little more aggravating. It's just several dragons that you have to come across and stuff like that. So From here, there's a site of grace there, but you'll want to go left because there's a cliff that the fall will kill you over there. And this is also the way to the Radon fight, which we'll need to do later on to get the Ash of War. Or not Ash of War, I keep calling it Ash of War. The Ashen Remains that you have to get. Now just follow this road. There's a site of grace here. You'll want to go around this part because there's several of the machine things in there that blow fire and it will kill you very quickly. You see ones right there. Those things are very aggravating. There's another one there. There's several of them in here, but no problem. Just go around. Site of grace there. Let's keep on the road. Well, these guys got a pretty good ranged attack, so try to get past them quickly. And you can try killing some of them if you want to, but if you're early levels, this is a very high level area to try to be working in. So it will get rather infuriating rather quickly. I'd recommend being at least level 50 or 60 depending on your build before you even attempt this area. Level 100 would probably be best. Alright, now there's site of grace there, and right up there on the hill is our Church of Dragon Communion. Now right here laying in this spot there will be a dragon. She's just kind of an optional boss. It's pretty tough, does Scarlet Rot Breath, but you can just run right past him and avoid him. Now this is Church of Dragon Communion. Circle around to the left because there is an enemy that patrols in and out of the doorway right there. And come right here to site of grace. Alright, now what you'll want to do, come to the altar, Ritual of Dragon Communion, and then just pick Rotten Breath. Takes 1 dragon heart. You can get more. You'll have 5 after you kill that thing for the first time, and it doesn't even fight back. So use one of those, get the incantation, and I would use the money from the first dragon you killed, the one that just lays there, to upgrade Faith to 15, Arcane a minimum 12. But you can see I've got my Arcane maxed out, which I have a blood build, so actually blood build scaled really well with this incantation, because when you get the right seal, it scales off Arcane too. Alright, purchase that, and then I'll have you set for that part. And then I would recommend going back to here and do the farming run. Rinse and repeat until you feel ready to carry on. Now I forgot to mention, at Fort Faroth here, in Fort Faroth, in a chest is half of the Dectus lift to get you to the Altus Plateau, which, I mean, you don't have to get until you get here. It goes to the Dectus lift. Half of it's there, the other half is here at Fort Height West, which you can also get the Bloody Slash from Ash of War from a knight, which is really good if you're going for a blood build. Okay, from there, let me find it. We'll want to go back to the first step again. I'll try to keep this video from getting too long, but there is several things that will really help at the beginning. And some of them I don't remember where I've attained them at, but you know, there's plenty of videos online. If you just punch it in, I'm sure someone will show where it is. Alright, standing here will be Whiteface Var, how you say it. Speak to him when you first spawn, and he'll tell you to go kill Godric the Grafted. Now the route to kill Godric, you go basically how we just went, but instead of going right, you'll go left at the gate front, and you'll just follow the path all the way around excuse me, until you get to here, and then you have to kill Margot to fail, which the Scarlet Rot will help a lot on him. And then make your way through Stormveil Castle until you get to Godric the Grafted. Now after you kill him, you will come back to here, talk to Vari, and he will tell you congratulations and go to the Round Table Hold. Then you rest at the Site of Grace, and Melania will show up and take you to the Round Table Hold, which try not to get in too much detail because most of you've probably already done this, which is the Table of Lost Grace, which allows you to upgrade and, you know, all of that stuff. But once you've done that, you will need to collect both halves of the Dectus Lift medallion, which one is at Fort Faroth, the other is at Fort Hyde West. Alright, you can do all of these if you wish, but none of there is not a required boss in Lunaria of the Lake, so theoretically you could run straight through it until you get to the Grand Lift of Dectus. Alright, we'll go there and I'll show it. All you have to do is go up the Grand Lift of Dectus, and it will unlock the Redan fight, which opens up the area to the next item I would highly suggest getting. Which is the Mimic Tier Ashen Remains. Which, I mean, everyone has their own opinion. In my opinion, it's the best one in the game. And once you get here, and I won't go up it because it takes forever, to here, hoist medallion, and it will take you up to the Altus Plateau. After that, you can do some exploring up here or however, or if you want to get the Ash of War, you can go back, follow the same path that we did before. I mean, here's the Church of Dragon Communion, you'll already have it, and you just go to here. Now if you engage the Dectus Lift before you go to the Redan Castle, the castle will be empty except for maybe 2 lions, which you don't have to fight, and you can walk straight through to the chamber outside the plaza, and it erases the optional mini bosses that are here. You won't have to fight them, you can go straight to the Redan fight. Okay, and once you've defeated Redan, that opens up, you'll actually come back to here to Fort Hythe, and right in here will be where it opens up the path to go to Nocturne, the Eternal City, and that is where you'll find the Mimic Tier Ash of War. And it's actually, so this is underground area, I'm too far up, here it is, this is Nocturne, the Eternal City, and I'm gonna travel to here, which, yeah, I'll just travel to there. You can watch a video on how to get there, but it's pretty easy. I mean, it'll put a red marker on your map. You go to the red marker, all you gotta do is just jump down in the crater that it created and run through, get to the first Site of Grace. You'll be where I'm starting at from here. Alright, to start out here, of course you can't summon your horse in this area, but it's not too very far. There won't be anything in here you have to fight. The only boss you have to clear to get this is the Mimic Tier boss, which will just turn into you, which can be a bit of an aggravating fight if you're, you know, fairly leveled up. Enemy here. Which I know there's videos on all of this separately online, but I kind of thought maybe if I compiled it all into one video, it would be a little easier. to see the build that will really help you out. Now this is where the Mimic Tier boss will be. He'll spawn right in the middle of the room. He's just a black blob. After you've defeated him, you can rest here. And then once you get to here, you'll be able to use your horse. And there might be a way to bypass that boss, I'm not sure. I just cleared it every time. All in all, with the Scarlet Rot incantation, you can about cheese any boss on the game except for a few that are immune to it. If you're having trouble with it, get Scarlet Rot on them, and then just simply stay out of their range till it wears off. Even at beginning levels, between the initial hit and the full extent of it, it will do around 5,000 to 6,000 damage for each time they get Scarlet Rot, depending on their immunity. That does a whole lot of damage for an early game incantation. Alright, you'll come to here, Site of Grace. Now this requires a little parkour, as I call it. And maybe I won't die. Into here, jump across. Jump over there. Now there is a lot of Mimic Tiers down here that'll turn into other people, and they're pretty tough. So if you're not... Oh man, I fell off and died. Yeah, that happens sometimes. I said I was going to play it in real time, so I mean you can see what really happens sometimes. Alright, started me back here, so I'm gonna go let's see, Ancestral Woods will be the one right beside where we first jumped off at. I said some of the stuff I've got, this is one of the easier ones. I mean, that one spot's a little tricky because if you start sliding it dies. You die, you fall off and die, but all in all it ain't too bad. Let's see if we can make it this time. And I'm probably not the best at the jumping stuff. Alright, so jump over. And there's our stuff back. And we're going to jump over here. Jump to here. Now there'll be these guys. We just run on past them. 'Cause they're pretty tough. It'll come over to here. Across this broken path.
Hello? Hello?
Alright, drop down here, but don't drop on down. Right across here, see if I can remember where it was. And, oh yeah, you will need a stone sword key. Use your stone sword key. There is an enemy in there, and after you kill him, that's where the Mimic Tier Ashen Remains is. I highly recommend those because it turns into you, although it does take 660 life to cast it, so you need to know, at least have that much. Alright, once you have that, of course you can upgrade it at the Round Table Hold with the ghost swart flowers that you find in tombs and stuff throughout the game, and there's a few bell bearings that you can find that will allow you to buy all of them, but some of them's pretty late game. Alright, from here, remember you talked to Whiteface Var at the first step. He's going to move to Rose Church right here, which there's not a Site of Grace there for some unknown reason, so we're going to put a marker there. Marker 2. Start out here. let's get over there. Now watch out for these lobsters here. They've got a ranged attack that hits very, very hard. One of them might get me with it here in a minute. You'll get to see it. That's not it. There it is. Got a lot of range and it does a lot of damage. Alright, this is Rose Church. There will be an invader inside, but as long as you don't go in, they won't invade you. Whiteface Vari will be standing right here. And what he'll ask you, he'll give you 5 bloody festered fingers. You invade 3 times in other people's world, don't matter if you win or lose. Come back to him, and then he'll give you a cloth to soak in a maiden's blood. For the cloth, you will go up to... That's not it. Okay, yeah, it's Church Inhibition, which you'll have to come up here and go around here, and you'd have to eliminate the eye at the Frenzy Tower, which gives you Frenzy, and then you have to go around through Frenzied Flame Village, come around to it, and there'll be an invader there that you have to defeat. After you defeat him, there's a body sitting in a chair. You can soak it in the blood of it. Come back to here, give it to him, and after he does all of his dialogue, go back to him, talk again, see if I still got it, and he will give you this, the Pure Blood Knights Medallion, which takes you to the best farming spot in the whole game, in my opinion. Takes you to the audience ground. Use that, which is unlimited use. And it's also the place where you'll find a really good talisman, especially early game. It reduces all non-physical damage by 10 or 15%, I believe, which is pretty huge for just a talisman that you get. Alright, when it spawns you in, first thing to do is go up the stairs. There's no enemies here. Get your Site of Grace here. And let me activate that if it's not activated. Yeah. Activate your summoning pools. Allow you to summon people to help or be summoned to help. I forgot, you got to get back down before you can use the horse. That's not Mog, Lord of Blood's up there, and he's got a really good weapon, but early levels he's just very, very tough. And the horse. Alright, and here there's going to be some giant skeletons that spawn from the ground that will wipe you out very quickly. Stick to the right side and they won't mess with you as much. And you see this white tree, stick to the left side. That's the giants behind us there. Go around through here, side this. Oh, I went the wrong way, sorry. The enemies here are very high level. Go up through here. And this is the best farming spot in the game that I've found, and most people would agree. Go to here, this Site of Grace, and this is your Palace Approach Ledge Road. It's also the location, and probably most of you have seen the bird down there that you shoot and it runs off. Kill it, and you can do that. That's a good farming spot. I found that if you shoot it from there, it doesn't jump off because it runs into the tree. You have to shoot it from at least here in order for it to fall off. Now each one of these guys at the first level I give you over 2,000 a piece, but right now I give over 5,000 because I'm on journey 3. Alright, but that's another perk of coming to this area. Now those red guys do a lot of damage. Now the talisman So I don't think I've picked it up this run, so it should still be here. I'll take this chance. I'll show you the Mimic Tear Ash of War. This is the Mimic Tear. See, it takes off my life. But it does make a duplicate of me. And as you can see, he's awesome. I won't worry with fighting all them. Ugh, maybe I should. I'm getting out of his range here. Now once you get in here, you will be invaded by Whiteface Vari. I think I might have already killed him this go around. He'll invade you 3 times in a row before he goes away. And when he invades you, it takes your horse away. So a lot of times it's better to lure him out, kill him before you get in this area. Stick to the left. Watch out for those because they do a ridiculous amount of damage. See if I can find it. And the birds are very bad too. Somewhere on the left you will find a place with tombstones. At the tombstones will be the Pearl Drake talisman. Yeah, there it is. And I believe it is this one. Yeah. I'll take that back. That's the Halig Tree talisman. Anyway, still a good talisman to have. And that's actually the bird to shoot and lure off. And there's a golden seed down here. It's fairly earthy, good talisman, very good farming spot. Doesn't really take any fighting to get to it or any boss clearing. It's a very good area to come to. I can figure out how to get out of here. Alright, that's really about it, and that gets you a long ways at the beginning of the game, especially the farming spot. Now there is some really good things that I use at the beginning of the game. Now the Golden Scarab is a really good one for the farming runs because it gives you 20% more runes, I believe it is, and it is also located in Caelid. And let's see if I can find it. You know, I don't remember exactly where that thing was. It's right around in this area somewhere, and there's a video of it online. It should be marked on my map. For some reason it ain't. Anyway, right around in this area there's a cave that you go in that's full of scarlet rot. Get to the end, kill the boss, you'll get the Golden Scarab, which, you know, at the beginning area with the little guys that are roaming around, it ups their rune by nearly 300 apiece, so it really helps. The other thing that helps a lot, especially I used it a lot at the beginning of the game, is, where's it at? This one, the Blessed Bijou Talisman. It slowly restores HP. For clearing out levels, it's not very good against boss fights, but for clearing areas, as long as you can stay out of combat between zones, it will restore all your health. You don't have to use any of your flasks, so it really helps if you're going on a long run. And that's really about it on the early level. Now you can build your preference however you want to, but those help a whole lot. And see, that's the Halig Tree Talisman. It vastly boosts holy damage negation, which I was thinking this is the one that you need to get. as soon as possible. Vastly boost non-physical damage negation. That helps a lot. And there's also this one that you can get from Crumbling Fire and Azulo. It's vastly boosts physical damage negation. Those two together really help. And of course you can get a better version of that where in the area where you fight Millennia, and that enormously boosts physical damage negation, which I believe that reduces about 20%, but I mean that's pretty late game. And all in all, that's about it. I would highly recommend when you get the ability to get the Rodan set, just for the simple amount of physical damage negation it gives you, and the poise. It makes you a tank, and it will really make your Mimic Tier a tank. Now it has a lot of weight, so you'll have to have at least 40 endurance to carry it, plus a weapon, and not be overweight. Or you can, there's a talisman that greatly raises your weight. That one raises, but this one greatly raises maximum equipment load, Arsenal Charm too. And there's a better one of that, but I never did get it. But if you're having trouble with weight issues, you can equip that, and it will allow you to have the set, which really helps if you're just looking to tank through, if you're a melee style. And I do highly recommend bleed damage because it works on almost every enemy and does a whole lot of damage. And also with the Dragon Rot incantation, here I'll just show what it does. It's very good for clearing groups, especially early game. And that's a full volley of it. Of course it killed him. Very good incantation, especially early game, and it applies Scarlet Rot, which does a great amount of constant damage. So I mean that's basically it. If you follow those, do the farming spot, get the spell, build however you want to, but include it in your build, it really makes stuff easy. If you'll put the Scarlet Rot on the boss while you're fighting it, it's like having another person there doing damage, because the Scarlet Rot really will do more damage than you do to it. So it's very helpful. And I would highly recommend the Mimic Tier Ashen Remains as early as possible, because they're probably the best in the game in my opinion. And other than that, just have fun farming. And I hope you enjoy the video.